Hello, everybody. Hope everybody had a great week this week. And I was talking to Mark there for a minute, and he says we still we got some folks that's not feeling too well this week. So I think he said Jeff and Puller Bear Ed were still kind of fighting off flu or something or another. So hopefully they'll show up, but we will we will see. But like I said, I hope everybody else had a great week. And give it a few minutes here and see if we can get some people in here. Um,
Yeah, you should get some in here.
uh,
You probably get Cajun and them in.
yeah, but hopefully they'll pop in a few minutes.
Yeah, once you get that notification out there, people sitting around not doing much.
Yeah, there's somebody. There's Mr. Ed.
Hey, how you
Mr.
doing?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Santa Claus.
Well, you starting to feel any better yet?
I felt good this morning. Then I worked all day, and now I'm just plumb wore out.
All that vacation time, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, vacation.
he's got what 3 years of vacation saved up by now.
Traveling.
Now I've only got 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks left of vacation, but I did have 960 hours of sick time, which is 6 months.
Whew.
That's getting close. I mean,
Wow, that's a lot of fishing time there.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of tractor pulling time.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh well.
Oh shit!
well, Mark,
I'll be right back.
Okay. Did you get most of your tractor work done before you decided it's time to go back roading, riding anymore? Riding.
Nope. I didn't do nothing.
Well, I got to get out there. I got to get out there and change that down gum distributor on that red truck so I can get after I clean out the shop. But I don't know. Since I've had this flu, I want that or con flu. I'm just wanting to lay around and
Yep. Ever since I got lazy, that's all I've done is lay around.
well, I mean, it's either too cold, but I can't say that this week. It's actually been in the 50s and 60s, but I put these doggone blood thinners and stuff that doctors got me on. They they don't help out none going out there and messing around that shop.
Oh yeah. I'm on that Coumadin, boy, and I tell you, I sure freeze.
Yeah, that's 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 been my problem is all this your blood pressure medicine and everything is just it just keeps me dragged down. I just want to lay on the couch and
Oh yeah.
snore all day and all night.
Yep. That's the way it is, though.
Well,
I wasted my whole Christmas break being sick, so
I did too. That's why me and Mark was talking before we come on online. I'm gonna change my year. I'm gonna just do 6 months, 6 months a year. It's gonna be. I'm,
Uh,
hey, Missy, how are you doing tonight?
I miss you.
I miss it.
Yeah, it's because I mean, usually starts around Thanksgiving and goes through the first year. So it seems like every year. So I don't know. It's and know what so I'm just gonna knock them months off next year off my calendar. So I'll say April. Say today would be April 6th.
Yeah.
So I get to warming up and feeling better.
All that nice warm weather and stuff we had, I could have been out in the garage getting a bunch of stuff done. Nope, I was freaking sick.
Okay,
Yeah.
Miss.
I didn't get nothing done today except for sit at doctors all day.
And how did that go?
I had to go take an agility test today. Then I had to take a DOT physical today. And all that. Then I had to sit there for a half hour because they said my blood pressure was up too high. I said I ain't never had high blood pressure in my life. I said my wife ain't around, so I know it's not because of her this time.
So did they find you agile?
Barely.
That's probably why your blood pressure was up.
Well, I was like, okay, what in the hell? I said I have never had a DOT cop ever give me an agility test alongside the regular. Never. When the hell did this become part of this?
Well, that's kind of the thing about it nowadays, though, Mark. You've seen the size of some of these truck drivers. I mean, some of them. I've seen a man and a team one time, man and wife team, I guess. He got out the daggum front seat of a 379 Pete or something or one of the big long hooded sons. He got out of the driver's seat. The truck went up one side. Then when she got out the other side, it leveled up.
Yeah, there's some pretty good sized people out there trucking, but and then they all this sleep apnea questions and all this stuff and everything. I'm like, hell no. I'm like, why is sleep apnea and stuff like that? Well, I didn't know. Now with this new physical stuff, if you have sleep apnea, you lose your CDL. Mm-hmm. You can't drive.
Well,
it's because it puts stress on your heart and because you don't sleep well enough. And they're afraid that you'll fall asleep driving.
Well, come on now. Being married puts a lot of stress on your heart. Yeah. Come on. Kids.
Yeah.
Reality.
That's why I'm out on the road. I don't want to see them people.
Yeah.
But put me behind the wheel. I am not stressed out one bit. My blood pressure is low. It's when I gotta sit at home with the wife and kids is when my blood pressure goes up.
Well, the best part of it is I enjoy working, and it's not work to me. It's my getaway. Let me the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But I don't truck like the average person. I go out and sightsee and do pretty much what I want to do. It's not like a job.
Hello, Mr. Cajun.
We're doing good, Daryl. Well, pretty good. Just got some bad news earlier. How you doing, Daryl? Mark, Sandy, if she's there, Ed, everybody in chat. How y'all doing?
Hello, Bo.
I got some bad news earlier. Missy told me Big T's on. I'm like, okay. So went over there, coin community. Been knowing Big T for years, since he started. And he was like, with the deepest sympathy, is the live stream title. And I'm like, something happened. And then I could pick up a couple of vibes of listening to for who it was, looking in comments. And then he said, yeah, the big guy finally kicked the bucket. And I'm like, I told Johnny Best is in the house. He's right next to me. Hey, guys. I told Johnny, I said, I hope it's not D. Reese. And sure enough, it was D. Reese passed away. And he was young. Younger than me. Got 2 kids in school. high school, I guess. His wife's from over here, right here, and him and his wife, and they lived here for a while. So they over in Florida now. I don't know where they're going to bury him at. Maybe in Florida or over here. I don't know. I don't know the arrangements yet. It happened last night.
Wow.
I hate when that happens.
Well, that's just part of life.
Yeah. Hey, Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
Yeah, you were talking about that sleep apnea and all that. Mark, didn't they give you hell for your license when you had that valve put in your heart?
No. I have to be on that Coumadin. It has to be monitored. But I have a machine here at home that the wife draws my blood and monitors it weekly.
Okay.
Keep the numbers where they need to be.
Okay.
And then she's got to call it in to my regular family doctor, and he adjusts the Coumadin to where it needs to be.
Okay. So they didn't give you any hassle with your CDL when you had heart attack, or
They took them away.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, they pulled my CDL when I had them done. Yeah. Then I got an inkling, a dummy me. I said, you know what? I'm going down here to Stat Care, and I'm going to take a DOT physical. I never disclosed that I had a steel valve in my heart or anything. Went in, and they didn't even find that I had the steel valve or anything. Give me a clean bill of health and a DOT physical, and give me my medical card for 2 years.
Huh. Okay. So they had to give you your CDL back.
Yes. So then I contacted an attorney, put the CDL, long form, and everything in his hand, and we had to petition the state to get him reinstated. It was a bunch of bull, is all it was.
Bull butter. That's right.
Well, that will be all the problems. I had to go through all that again too. My license still says CDL on it, but it ain't no good. No, it ain't no better than a piece of paper.
Yeah. Well, for the longest time though, I kept my Virginia license good and never got the Ohio license. But as soon as I got the Ohio license, then they got me, and it was like, well, I'm going to go back to a P.O. box down in Virginia.
Y'all were talking about stress, or Ed was mentioning stress on the job, driving or whatever. It's not the job. If you love your job, it's not work. So anyway, and when I had my 2 trucks, not at the same time, different time. I love driving truck. I mean, I was a company driver too for different companies.
Mm-hmm.
I love driving. That's relaxing. Like Ed was saying, you see the sights or whatever, go down the roads in the country you've never been before, that you always wanted to take your truck, regular car or vehicle, down there and go drive on Sundays like the old people used to do 50 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Go for a Sunday drive, go visit friends.
Yeah, with me trucking, it's not like a job. It's something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah. Right. And if you enjoy doing it, you're not stressed out.
No. Nope.
What's still the funniest aggravating thing there is I can go up here right now and at Camping World or somewhere around here, buy the damn biggest camper they got, hook me a big ass car trailer behind it, and I can go from here to the other coast without even stopping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or anything else on my car license.
Uh-huh. You get in my way. You can just be out there in the middle lane, putting up all the traffic and getting in the semis ways and everything else. And
you can buy a toter home with a 50 some foot double stack freaking car trailer, race trailer, and not have to have a single endorsement on your license and drive that thing down. And they're semis with a big huge bunk on them
Mhm.
and a bumper tow trailer.
It's not a commercial vehicle.
And it's for private use, and you do not have to.
Recreational vehicle.
Yep. So, heck yeah, I'm thinking about buying me a toter home and starting to haul freight.
There you go.
That way I ain't got getting no CDL.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, you don't have one?
No.
Oh, I thought you had one.
No.
That's always.
I started to get one, and I found out all the restrictions and everything else, and I'm like, nope, it ain't worth having. Not because I'm not going to use it, on a regular basis.
Yeah. Oh, so, I had my regular chauffeurs when I was 18. Yeah, 18 or 17.
See, I was going to get mine.
Whatever it was back then, because my license, I got my driver's license at 14. That's how Louisiana was back then.
Well, I was gonna get my CDL through work, because we used to have a big bus that you had to have a CDL endorsement for, and when I found out that there was no increase in pay or anything else while I'm using that CDL,
I'll come back.
Ain't no way I'm doing that. So,
I had my school bus endorsement at 16. Where I could drive a school bus at 16, but but back then, Daddy had two spots. He had 50. When you coming out of Maryland, 5301 down through there. There used to didn't be nothing over that way, across the Bay Bridge and all that. That was my turn to drive. Down through there to get down on this side, down to Richmond, and then we'd switch back out, and he'd get us home, or from St. Augustine to Fort Lauderdale, Fort Pierce down there. They wasn't nothing down through there. So that's where he got his naps at. And he never put a logbook in the truck. I never sold it. I wasn't, but from the time I was 16 years old, I was running the whole East Coast just about it. Every time the truck rolled, if I wasn't in school, that's where I was at, was in the daggum truck with old man. So
well, I've been looking at like used ambulances and stuff to make a toter for the pulling tractors and stuff. I think I'm going to change my mind. I think I'm going to get a van front bus, one of the little 1 ton. Well, actually, they're almost 2 ton setups. They've got the 6 liter Chevy motors in them. They're 1 tons duals, and they should be big enough to haul any of the pulling tractors I need to it. If I need to hook it to a trailer, it's already set up as a 1 ton, so just need a hitch on it. I checked out a couple guys that's converted them over for like little motor homes and stuff, and they're awesome. So,
well, I tell you what else is funny. I have seen them on the interstate. We was talking about campers and trailers behind them. I have seen a daggone camper pulling a trailer and then pulling a boat behind the camper, behind the trailer. But yet here I am. I got to spend thousands of dollars keeping my driver my license up to be called a commercial driver's license. But
there was a Boy Scout troop around here. I think it was over towards PA a little bit further. I'd see them around all the time. They had a 1 ton pickup truck. I'm sorry, a 1 ton van, like a 12 passenger van. And they had 2 12-foot box trailers they'd hooked together. And one was actually like a mobile kitchen, and the other one was for all their gear. And the 12 passenger hauled the boys.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Pretty slick setup.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Oh, I think Jeff's.
There he is.
Oh, he ain't froze. He ain't doing good today. I don't know if anybody can even hear me.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
we can hear
There
you.
you
Oh,
working good.
oh, all right. At least something's working then.
Are
You
you
got
feeling
it.
better? You feeling better, Jeff?
A little bit, not much. If I just stay in one place, I'm all right. If I start walking around, then it gets ugly again.
Oh,
Got my junior nurses at her station and my main nurse is at his station.
there you go.
He's,
That's the main thing. That's
he
the main
stayed here all
thing.
day. Every so often, he'll get up and just check me.
Well, this week we had to take my nurse to the doctor, and she's got Lyme.
Oh,
She got
no.
Lyme, and she had anaplasmosis or something. I guess that's something to do with her blood, bacteria in her blood, and she's milking it for everything she's worth right now. So,
Hey, Shelby.
she's laying here. Miss Alice is laying here stretched out across the couch, taking up 2 couches.
Oh, I stayed in bed. I go out there in the living room there, and it's like 5 minutes later, I got to come back. I was doing good when I got up this morning. I got up and I made breakfast and they went out for a while, and then all of a sudden it just hit me.
Well, hopefully you get
Oh,
better,
it's
feeling better pretty quick there, Jeff.
I hope so. It's horrible. I thought maybe my sugar was too high. When I checked it, it was only 250. It's like, well, that ain't the problem. And I cooked a piece of toast and I took one bite out of it, and it's like, that's it. Show's over.
Wow.
So for dinner, I had a half a slice of bread.
Yeah, Mark had said you wasn't feeling too good today. He said you and Ed both was pretty sick, so he didn't know whether either one of you show up or not.
I come home and ate a little bit of dinner and started watching. I watched a couple of videos. I watched Brandon's and Ken's, and I took a nap, about a 30-minute nap.
Well,
I've been sleeping most of the day.
That's been my problem. I mean, I've gotten over that are Hong Kong flu or whatever you want to call it, but I'm trying to say it without the them trying to strike me here. But I mean, all through Christmas and all, Delisa's still coughing from it, and I mean, I did had to go to my regular doctor yesterday, and my blood pressure and all is better than it's been in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
But you're still broken.
Yeah, I asked the doctor, when was the last time they had had a new gauge put in? She said it. She said it is low for you. I said, yeah, it is. So,
I started feeling crappy Christmas Eve, and didn't start feeling anywhere near normal until about Wednesday of this week.
Wow.
And I went back to work today because it was my 5 days quarantine thing was up, and I felt pretty good yesterday afternoon. Got up, well, I didn't sleep very well last night, and got up, went to work. By an hour and a half into it, I was wishing I would have just took the day off. But it was more stress than anything.
But you being a tough person, you made it through, huh?
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to next week because I got a whole stack of stuff that's needs worked on. And,
Piled up on you
yep.
while you were off.
And no,
Daryl,
Yeah.
I call it. It's a cartoon character when I was a kid.
Mhm.
I call it the Hong Kong Phooey, and that is a cartoon character
Yeah, I remember
that was voiced by Catman Struthers.
I remember that.
We call him Bowleg, because he was real bow-legged, old black gentleman.
Remember it? Did we used? I've been calling it just calling it Kung Flu. But
Yeah, I call it the Hong Kong Phooey because they can pick up on it, but they can't prove what you're talking about, really.
yeah.
You know, because it's actually a cartoon.
Well, Lisa was feeling bad on the 13th, so she went. I took her out to the hospital, and she tested positive for it. And they said, well, you, I didn't get tested, but they said you might as well consider you got it too because y'all live in the same house and all that stuff. I said, well, I kind of figured that, and well, when I got home, we had got some of them free ones from the from the post office, free test from the post office, and she said, well, you might as well take the test and see. I said, well, I ain't going to no doctor. I ain't going my name on the list. Well, I took it, and sure enough, I had the 2 red lines on it.
well, that's the funny thing. I had to call. I had to report it to work. You know that I had it, and the lady that's in charge of all of our stuff went down a whole list. She's like, okay. She goes, well, I have to inform you that I do have to turn it into the county health department. Blah 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 blah. Da da da. They'll be calling you to get some information. Da 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 da. Nope, not a single phone call. No, nothing from anybody. I talked to her yesterday afternoon, and she's like, "How you feeling?" I said, "I'm feeling good." She goes, "Okay, you gonna try to come back?" I'm like, "Yep." She goes, "Okay." She goes, "If you at any point in time, if you don't feel up to it," she goes, "just clock out and go home. There's no penalty for it. We don't get
No
occurrences.
reprimand.
Yep, no reprimand, no occurrences, but it does come off your sick time, but it doesn't, So I'm like, whatever, and my boss come up to me like 3 times today and like, you doing okay? You need to go home. I'm like, no, I'm gonna make it. I'm here. You know, might as well keep chugging along. But the only thing I
I'm
got
gonna
done
do
today
this if it kills me.
the only thing I got done today was put a muffler on one of our vans, which should have only taken me about 2 hours, but it took me all freaking day.
Well, but that's the sad part is they make sure they tell you to clock out before you leave.
Well, we do it online. There's a program that we use, and I can do it. I can do it right from my phone, you know. But the funny part about that one is we used to have one a few years back. You had to be on the university intranet to do it. You couldn't do it over your phone data.
Yeah.
You had to be on their Wi-Fi. This new one, if I wanted to clock in right now, I bring it up on my phone. I clock in. There's no, it'll flag, because the supervisor reviews everything, but they just, you can adjust your time. Hi, Mater.
Hey, Mater.
Hey, Mater.
You had to reset it.
I did that before I came on too. I restarted it because it was acting a little slow. So
I started mine before I come on. It was off.
I never turn mine off.
I do.
It's part of-
Never had any trouble with it. 3 years. Oh, over 3 years. Just about
I
on
don't turn mine off if it's younger than
24/7.
7.
Better knock on some wood, because now you're gonna jinx yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the caps don't have time to dry out, and when you do shutdowns and all that, those little new SMD surface mount device capacitors, what they do, they're so tiny and small, and they're not made up to real good quality. The aluminum cans are the best ones, the taller ones. But anyway, they don't have time to like drain off and then come back on and get hit with a big jolt all at one time, and they reform. Capacitors reform every time you activate one. So that's what causes the death of them. It's like a light bulb. You take a 60-watt filament, old style light bulb, leave it on 24/7. It'll last you 5, 6 years, 7 years. But that same bulb, you go switching it on and off all the time. Constant. In 2 years, it's gonna blow.
Sorry about that, mate. I didn't see how long. I didn't know you was
Hey,
down
look, man, here.
No problem. No, I come in and I was going to type something and everything in the chat, and it wasn't wanting to take it. I was like, what the hell? I look down my keyboard and light saying caps lock is on. I'm trying to turn it off. I go, what the hell's going on here? Dust or something got down inside there and got it messed up. So I went and grabbed the other one, got it plugged in. It was doing the same thing. I still couldn't type anything. I just said, screw it, let me just shut down the computer, see about restarting it. Yep, that fixed it.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
You
computer
gotta
works.
take it, run it under hot water, man.
Tell you what, Jeff, you take your computer and you show me first.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, I've ran my keyboard through the dishwasher.
Yeah, well, you probably did let it dry out thoroughly before you put it back together and plugged it in.
I
Didn't even take it apart. Just unplugged it, threw it in the dishwasher,
Oh,
ran it through the cycle, shook it out really good, let it sit for a couple of days, plugged it in, and it worked.
Well, I literally threw my Qualcomm in the washed it out till all my damn keys got sticky one day. I opened the Coke and I had the Qualcomm laying inside my seat.
Hey, Missy.
So I opened the Coke and it's spraying, and here I did. I had every key on that song was sticking. So
mine are starting to do that a little bit.
I can see it.
I spilled coffee on my keyboard laptop, and the way I did it, I did it the right way. Unplugged it right away, turned it off, and held it upside down, and all that. Let it air dry with a fan for a couple of days, and came back on, no problem. But I think the keyboard in this laptop, it has that membrane, that silicone membrane on it, all the way across the top. That way, nothing got in the computer itself. But I got a few keys that are starting to get sticky.
I'm gonna verify that those Qualcomm keyboards they have in a semi truck for them daggum things are got to be,
Shelby.
they got to be made out of daggum titanium or something or other, because I have throwed that song on. I poured shit all over it. Excuse my language, but I have poured junk all over it. I have tried everything in the world to kill one. I ain't never killed one yet.
So. Johnny just reminded me. He said that reminds me of Scotty Seymour. And I thought, I'm like, oh yeah, years ago we was at my camp house in Grand Chenier on the Mermentau River, and a buddy of mine from over here in Eunice, he was staying with me for a while during the winter. The fall, I was crabbing and shrimping, running a big butterfly net at my camp, and he made him a Bloody Mary on a Saturday morning, and he spills it. He spills a jar of tomato juice, and on my phone, and this was a Sprint cell phone, a high dollar phone way back in the day, back in 2000, 99 or 2000. And he hurries up. I'm like, oh man, he hurries up. He goes to the sink, turns the faucet on, and washes my phone off. Oh no, you owe me a phone, dude.
You had one of them Bloody Mary Mondays.
Messed it up.
He killed my phone with a Bloody Mary.
They probably killed it by putting water in there.
Yeah, that more or less. Yeah, I think it'd have been all right just with the tomato juice, because it just flew on the keypad on the phone, and then I just could have put it upside down and shook it and wiped it off.
Yeah.
I didn't. Well, I'll take the battery out first, naturally.
Well, the acid from the tomato and everything, it probably got in there and it shorted out some stuff.
Well, it was dead on arrival at the sink.
Yeah.
I mean, after the sink, it was dead on arrival. Hey, Ken.
I got some.
Well,
How come I can't see comments?
Mark, that just give me an idea. You know how those electronic logbooks clock the most catch you running, shows how many hours you've been running and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
See, just get Cajun to put a bypass in it and have it turned around where as you go back the other way, it runs. You start picking up time to drive.
Yeah, put a decoupling capacitor in it. You mean?
Yeah. And that way it shows you going one direction and you're picking up hours as you're going back home.
Just take the fuse out of it. Works just as good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll spill something on it. Big old Circle K cup of coffee or whatever. Big 50-ounce cup of coffee. Spill it on the computer.
that could get expensive though. Pouring coffee on it. I mean, because that means you'd have to get a new unit every other day. So
Yeah, but that would be for on a company truck though, not your own.
yeah.
Got some new goodies for the short hood today there, Ed.
Did you? What'd you get?
Yeah, I got the little bolt-on mountain lugs. They bolt on to there's a piece of angle on there right in front of the axle, and then the other one bolts onto the frame by the steering box. I can put the snowplow on it. I can put the mower on it.
Awesome.
Got me some other goodies too.
Yeah, I apparently I got a goodies down at Mark's. I got to go pick up probably tomorrow if he's going to be around.
I'm still wondering how come that wall behind him is empty.
Because I haven't put it up yet.
What's the holdup?
I've been busy.
See, I think mine's going to go right up here.
Taking naps is not being called busy.
Wasn't home all day. Had things to do.
Like I said, taking a nap is not being busy.
I don't think all week long I've seen 6 o'clock in the evenings this whole damn week. I missed every one of both of Mater's streams. I was snoring already.
See you, Ken.
Later,
Hey,
Ken.
What's the
I
matter,
picked up
Jeff?
2 brand new
You didn't get enough
mics
cat
this
nap?
week too.
Jeff, you didn't get enough cat naps because you're yawning?
No, I've been sick all day, Mater.
Ooh, that ain't good.
No, it sucked at noontime. It got really bad.
Damn. I know I was hurting earlier enough to take that 800 milligram ibuprofen and then take the very last Tylenol 3 at the same time. So I
Well, I
was,
flat out couldn't eat anything. I took one bite of piece of toast and it came right back.
ooh,
Was it too dry?
It could have been.
It happened to me for Christmas Day.
So I got my little bathroom bucket sitting right here just in case of emergency. Because every now and then, by the time I get up and get in there, it's really, really close.
did y'all see what the message Crystal sent to me?
You been cloned or called?
Cloned.
Okay. Which one?
Seems I've been cloned again.
Facebook?
Yep. Seems that someone sent her a friend request looking
Yeah.
like me.
Yeah. That happens a lot.
What's really weird is I've been hearing everybody talk about it. They've been getting hit, and it's like, nope. Then all of a sudden, yeah. I just keep getting all these damn fake friend requests. I keep going in there and reporting them and deleting.
Oh my God, I've been getting hammered with that the last couple of days.
Knock on wood, I've never been cloned on Facebook. But I don't even ought to get on it. I need to start to because I promised Missy I would. You know, after the first of the year, I told her I'm going to start getting back on Facebook, you know. So I need to start doing that tomorrow.
You said that how many weeks ago?
It was a couple of days before the first, so a week ago.
Okay.
It was just yesterday. Tomorrow isn't here yet. It'd be all
Right. It seems like yesterday, so that's why I probably forgot about it.
Hey,
There
that
you go.
other thing, it made it here in one day yesterday.
What made it
Hello
one day?
there, John Kerry.
That big fucking box.
Oh,
Made it here
cool.
at about 2:30 yesterday.
Well, that's a good deal then.
It looks okay. I'll tell you one thing, he packed the shit out of it, though.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
But it's already downstairs. It was tough, but I got it downstairs.
There you go.
Actually, the hardest part was unpacking it.
How many drawers was it? 9?
I think so.
And what is it?
It's a big wooden toolbox.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's the thing about we're selling on eBay. Delisa has people fuss at Delisa because she makes her own boxes. But that's the only thing about it is by the time you fill up with all the daggone packing material and everything else, I mean, you ain't got no choice but to pack it tight and
Right.
I got the metric caliper showed up too yesterday.
Man, you're gonna be an uptown machinist here shortly.
That's what I'm thinking.
One
Yeah,
time,
well, I
Missy
think I
got
might-
Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking first I gotta find some place to make a nice shop to put all this stuff.
you'll have to go out in the backyard and dig up another one in cans there, Joe.
Now, what kind of wooden toolbox is it? Is it like some smaller boxes, like for a wood craftsman, or is it like for mechanic tools, or what?
It's one of them machinist boxes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, craftsman style. All right.
I was thinking more like
Well-
Kennedy.
Yeah, some of the year.
I made a huge, it's almost like a hutch. They called it a hutch. They were from overseas, Italy, these two guys, and they had a machine shop in Baton Rouge. And when I had my cabinet shop, they came over there and wanted to know if I could build, they called it a hutch. Big style cabinet, almost like a what you see when you walk into a land office. You know, with all the smaller drawers with different paper works and deeds and stuff, originals. But these were little tiny drawers they wanted for like machining tools and dies and what have you. And it was it was like 200 drawers in that thing.
Damn.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, you talk about I made some good money on that because them Italians they wanted craftsmanship, you know, good quality stuff, no plywood, no nothing, all hard, solid hardwood. And I think that was about $5,000 for that, if I'm not mistaken. That was 30 years ago. So they got what they wanted. Put it that way.
Yeah, it's kind of like
All
what
this.
people saying. The apothecary.
Not the carry cabinet.
Right there
I
is the
don't know
box.
which one she's talking about.
Yep.
Hold on,
Blow
Mark.
him
Let
up,
me get it.
blow him up, Daryl, if you don't
I'm
mind.
trying to.
It's got that green felt at the top.
Yep, that's the box.
Yeah, that's a craftsman box. Okay, that's
Yeah.
a true craftsman's box. Yeah, man, those are nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what this one is.
I've got one of those I picked up at I can't remember if it was Salvation Army or a Goodwill. Picked it up I think for
That's the same one, huh, Jeff?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, I picked mine up I think for about $25-$30.
Wow.
I really would have liked to got like the good ones that are made out in Ohio, but I don't have that kind of money to buy one of them.
How much was that one there you showed, you and Mark showed?
$255 was the high bid for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all oak there.
Yeah.
So which one Crystal's talking about? Which cabinet? Like the one I was explaining or
Yeah,
the one Jeff's got?
no, like the one that you made.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they called it a hutch. I just called it a bank of drawers, you know,
Yeah.
a face cabinet.
It's basically it's like what she was saying. It's an apothecary
Okay.
cabinet because that's where you're gonna have all the different drawers for like different spices and different things.
Yeah.
And drawers and stuff. Yeah. There's a fella in town here. He built over time. He said he's got a 60-foot wall with porch bench and all solid wood and his shop in the back. Johnny knows who I'm talking about. Johnny was over there a while back. You remember that guy you went to that's got the little flea market on the corner across from the body shop?
Yeah.
And you were looking over there and you told me they had a space heater for like 30 or 40 bucks.
Yeah.
Right there. That guy that owns it, that big guy, he's got a cabinet like I was talking about, but it's like 60 to 80 foot long.
Damn.
And he had some pictures of it on his phone, and I'm like, wow, now that's some good work right there. And that's kind of what, and he uses them for little bitty parts and little tools and stuff that he uses all the time. He's got a machine shop in there, in his place, and a woodworking shop. So anything that's small or bigger drawers, like for calipers or whatever, and everything's labeled. Every drawer is labeled. He knows where everything's at in that shop, put it that way.
I'd love to go out to Dayton there and go to the Gerstner factory. They'll let you do a tour of it. I was watching a couple of them on YouTube, man. Them guys do top-notch work.
I
Oh,
could
you get
imagine.
the right equipment, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Speaking of quality, Missy got a can opener for Christmas, but we opened them our presents yesterday from Mama Faye,
Yeah.
and well, you know, on a video chat, and we opened ours first, me and Missy, and then her mama opened hers. But Missy got a Black & Decker can opener, straight out the box. It didn't work.
Damn.
Johnny got it to work halfway. He had to turn the can while it was turning and all that. And
Oh,
it's a piece of crap. So
I got one of
was
them ones you can
fine.
wind by hand.
I looked online. I bought one from Walmart by hand, an $8 one, a hand can opener,
Uh-huh.
Martha Stewart Lifestyles or whatever, and that took a dump after 6 months. You know,
Right.
the little that gear cog that grabs the can and turns the can wore down. I looked on the internet earlier, Googled handheld can openers, and they got what they call a swing line. Well, it's a swing line. That's the name brand. This restaurant supply house was selling them. So I said, well, that's got to be a good deal. Then me and Johnny started to watch a video on the top 10 best handheld can openers. And the OXO is the best one so far. It was number 2. No, number 1. The top choice, number 1, OXO. It's a sideways can opener. You clip it on and you do this from the top, and it cuts, and there's no rough edges, and the lid, actually, you can seal the can, reseal the can with the lid. That's how it cuts it. I like those. I'm going to have to price it, though. OXO is probably around $18 for that.
It's kind of like, it kind of goes back to the old, if you bought something back in the 60s or 70s or something like that. I got stuff laying in my drawers right now that was bought back in the 60s. That stuff will last. This doggone,
It still works.
yeah. This new stuff nowadays, it might work a day or it might work 5 years. You never know.
Yep.
Mama had a can opener she bought from the grocery store for back then, 40, 50 years ago. She paid $1 for a regular iron steel can opener. Little, no grip, no foam grips or plastic handles on it or nothing. Just plain iron or steel, whatever, all the way. And she had that for 40 years that I know of and never gave her a lick of trouble.
Yep.
See that, Ed? That's what you're getting for Christmas. Christmas in July.
Can't see it.
Yeah.
Now we can, kind of. Well, straighten the phone a little bit.
Was that a generator? Well,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
no, he ain't getting a generator. There ain't no way I'm giving up the Predator.
What it looked like.
What is that?
Like
It's too close.
I would love to have an original Montezuma box, but I think I'm going to build one instead to build it to my needs.
What's a Montezuma box?
They're triangular and it has a lid that lifts up, and it has hangers for wrenches across the back, and then all your sockets go on pegs.
Oh, yeah.
On the other side, there's spots for all your screwdrivers, your extensions. You flip up the sockets sit on a tray that folds up, and underneath there is all your ratchets and other specialty tools and stuff like that.
Theo's got one like that.
Just for the top box, which is like 36 by 17. I think it's 17 inches deep. They run anywhere from $650 to $900, depending on where you buy them from.
Wow.
But they're waterproof. They're meant to be mounted on like a work truck or something like that.
Yeah.
But they're waterproof and they're awesome. They're really super compact. It has all your tools.
Okay.
I was going to say, that kind of sounds like the one I saw at my local John Deere.
Well, yeah, Power Built makes one similar to it, but their layout's different. I don't like the way their layout is on them. The original Montezuma box, which I've wanted one for 20 years, and the prices just keep going up on them, but they're awesome. Like I said, super compact, and hold all your metric standard sockets, wrenches, all that stuff. For half, 3/8, quarter.
I take my statement back early when I said Theo's got one. I thought you were talking about one of the hand carry angle boxes. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Well, they do make small ones. They make like a 24-inch one or something like that. but I want the big 36-inch one. But I think I'm going to build one on a cart.
Oh,
So the top of it will be the toolbox, and then underneath will have shelves. So,
like those wooden boxes, like what Mark showed and Jeff showed, years and years ago. I'm talking about 100+ years ago. Carpenters, they made their own, like cabinet builders, tree carpenters. They made their own boxes according to what they needed because their tools lasted a lifetime. It was all hand stuff, no motors, hand molding planes and the knives and stuff they would put in that molding plane. That all that with little bitty compartments and stuff in these drawers, like Jeff showed. But the cabinet makers back then built their own to suit what they needed.
well, my uncle was a carpenter cabinet maker, and he built my cousin a big, looked like a Craftsman toolbox, and he still has that thing to this day down in his shop. He doesn't have a whole lot of tools and stuff in it. He's moved them out into other boxes and stuff. But that thing, I know it's a good 30+ years old, and them drawers and everything slide and roll just as beautiful as the day that my uncle built it.
I bet you it's heavy too with the tools in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But the thing like you're talking about there, Cajun, is back then they took pride in taking care of their tools. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, now it's just total way
nowadays is use the hell out of it and get as much as you can out of it the first little while, and then turn around and go run grab another, go buy another one. And but back in them days, they couldn't. Those hand planes and stuff like you're talking about. Those
They lasted a lifetime.
I mean, you go look at some of these places that does sells woodworking tools and stuff. I mean, they got planes on I can't remember what the heck the name of the company is, but they got planes on there that's $1,000 a hand plane.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but they're precision tools. They're not play around tools. Those are precision.
They're like the brass ones that's made up in, I think it's New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of them. Well, it's even like I got a bunch of the old wood bottom planes, the old Stanleys, and a couple others.
Oh yeah, them old Stanley. That's awesome.
I was watching on eBay. I picked up a couple of the Bedrock planes because they were like the best ones Stanley made.
Well, when I worked in a water heater factory, I had access to all kind of, I had access to metal and all that stuff. I built one for all my welding tools and all that stuff where I welded that there. I mean, and I actually kept up with my tools and that all, I knew where it was at. But I mean, a handle broke out of a sledgehammer or something other like that. I just take a piece of pipe or something other and make me a handle out of it and weld it on there.
I still got my original cutting torch that I got back in 1981 or 2. I worked a Saturday and a Sunday for it. And I still use it every day when I use it.
Yeah. I mean,
that's when things were made to last, not, use it and throw it away.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see. Okay, Ed put something here. Let me get it. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the Montezuma box.
Yeah, the Montezuma box.
Yeah, that's what I see over at like I said, John Deere. I mean, I get you one in that yellow and green.
Nah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's what Theo's got, but his is he keeps it. It's like his travel bump,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you telling us the
it's
prejudice?
heavier than hell, but he carries it with him, in his service truck or whatever.
Yeah, but Ed, for that kind of price like you were talking about, if I'm not mistaken, that comes with all the tools also.
Mm-mm.
From what I think I saw where John Deere did.
Nope.
Nope. That is just the box.
I can double check on that.
Well, I
Nice.
stopped by your favorite store the other day, yesterday, Mater.
Oh, Lowe's?
No,
Harbor
Harbor Freight. And I was in there looking at the toolboxes, but they got every daggone one of them locked up. You can't pull the drawers out of them. I wanted to see what the drawers felt like.
You got to lift the lid up on it, and the drawers are released.
Well, it
Yeah.
did. They had that up.
They got little locks on the door on the
Yeah.
inside the handles. They're all you got to find them and then pull them out. You kind of go sideways with it.
The 56 and the 72-inch, there's a little latch on the right-hand side. You got to slide over and allow the door to open. But the 44-inch doesn't have that. Yeah, those
How
are
long is that one from left to right?
That one's 26 inches.
Oh, okay, all right.
But that's the rapid. They call it the rapid box. It's not made by Montezuma. It's made by another company.
Oh, so Montezuma is the name brand of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't like how they have the sockets and everything all scattered around. Your ratchets and stuff are all here. Your screwdrivers are in front of all your wrenches back here. You know, I don't like I've looked at these. I don't like the way they're laid out. I like the Montezuma box better.
Yeah, like I said, I stopped by Harbor Freight and just walked around the store. And for the most part, this week I didn't get any doggone. I didn't get any coupons until today for Harbor Freight. So
You got to do them online there, Dale.
So I didn't buy nothing yesterday. I just walked around the store looking around, and like I said, it pissed me off. I couldn't figure out how to open the drawers or anything on the toolboxes. I wanted to see how thick the metal and kind of wiggle the drawers around and all that stuff to see if they would see how, so I didn't see I could see what kind of shape the rollers and all that was on them. And
They're a little bit heavier than the Craftsman boxes.
But over there at that place, it seemed like they were all locked up. So I said, man, it used to me leaving worrying about it. Then I just walked back. I wasn't gonna buy nothing anyway, but that was a good excuse not to buy anything.
I go into the one by me and it just aggravates the shit out of me by the time I walk down 2 aisles.
Well, I wanted a fairly decent torque wrench to see what they, look at the torque wrenches and stuff. But they just, I don't know. All they had was them doggone Pittsburgh type because they got a big sale on torque wrenches this week. You can get 20% off or something.
Yeah, but those Pittsburgh ones are lifetime guaranteed also.
Yep, they are.
Yes.
Well, I reckon I should have got one. I mean, they did have 4 or 5 of them laying there, but the other ones, it done sold out of what few they had of the other ones. So
I've got all 3 of the Pittsburgh click style. I've got it in the quarter, 3/8, and half inch. As a matter of fact, last time I went, when I got that half inch, that was one of the tools you could get for free by spending so much money. And it's like, get those coupons and everything, or sign up for them, and they'll send you the ads about 2 or 3 times a week. And
that was the only thing I had coupons for was the torque wrenches. They sent that on Tuesday, and then today lady sent me a whole daggum page of stuff that they had on sale. But
Yep.
but they screwed up. Yes, I was there yesterday. So if they'd have sent all of them on the first of the week, I would have had the coupon.
I know I got one yesterday or today, and it was like 3 different things you get for free or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one of them was the step drill bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
step bit? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
on a
seen
step
that.
bit, that's one thing I'm looking at to see
I
about
got
getting.
a green leaf step bit somewhere in the shop. That's
And just what are you gonna
high
do there,
quality
Mrs.?
$2 grand.
Uh,
Hey, Sandy.
Is that
Hey,
Mater? Is that offered to everybody or just inside track people? Because I got one for the inside track club.
let me go get my phone. Be right back. I've got it inside the house, so I can grab it and look.
Well, they were.
I was part of the inside track, but I let it run out because I can't see paying for that shit.
Well,
Yeah.
the only reason I'm a member of the inside track club is because I went out and bought a bunch of stuff, and the savings that I would have saved, where I did save, paid for my inside track club. So
Mater did the same thing.
I did that in South
Well, that's what I
Carolina.
did with the Predator. I saved a ton of money on that Predator.
I had, back when we was having to rebuild a house in South Carolina, I had all my tools were up here, so I went and I had done that inside track thing to get the tools to work on everything down there. But now I got two of everything.
Y'all remember we were talking about quality earlier?
Yeah.
Mark, you remember this workbench, don't you?
Uh-huh.
And Ed? Okay, well, it's a little cleaner now, a lot cleaner. And those 3 quartz cabinet bins right there were, I caught a little hair last night and I mounted the first one. I just eyeballed it. I didn't use no tape measure, no level, no nothing. And hung it, and it was perfect. I put the other one next to it, and they stackable. See that, the one with 9 drawers on the bottom? It looks 6, but there's 9. There's little feet that go on the bottom of that 30 drawer. There's little feet that go in holes on top of the 9 drawer. Anyway, those are electronic parts. But I bought from Harbor Freight, those are 30 drawers on the top. I bought some 40 drawers. I bought every one they had at Harbor Freight. Johnny was like, yeah, you got a lot of parts. You're going to need that. When I brought them home, them things were the cheapest. The drawers would almost want to fall out the back of the cabinet. The only thing that would stop me is hanging them on the wall, but the drawers were too cheap. Mm-hmm. So I looked up online for them right there. The Lowe's had them. Craftsman. They were $4 more than the Harbor Freight ones and 10 drawers less. But man, you talk about some good cabinets right there. Those are quality. And it said made in Taiwan, not China, on the sticker. So I figured, yeah, well, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
But and that bench is, well, you can see some of the test equipment right there.
I'm still after that radio sitting over there.
Oh, you mean that one down there, that chrome one, right?
Yeah.
That chrome one right there.
Uh-huh.
You can just see the 2 ass end screws on that hold the covers on.
Yeah.
That's a 200-watt radio.
Right.
That's too much radio for you.
That's a Galaxy No, not a Galaxy. Yeah. Yeah, it's a Galaxy.
That's okay. Mark getting that new truck. He's got a 600-watt alternator put on it. So I mean,
Hell, I don't have enough juice in my power supply to kick it all the way.
Yeah, I got that. I run a Texas Ranger. I picked it up there, CB shop up there in Texarkana.
Uh-huh.
Well, I didn't. The wife did. Her and I was out there trucking, and my radio took a shit, and she bought that radio and had it all set up there at that guy. He did a wonderful job. That thing, it'll get out there and go.
Well, you got, and it's just a radio, or you got a kicker on it?
No, I got a 100-watt behind it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. You know.
Oh, it'll get out there.
That worked. In fact, when Johnny he picked up some medicine for Bebe, my little puppy, a flea pill, and Daniel brought him after they played music yesterday. They were supposed to play today, but they played yesterday. Daniel was out. I noticed a C-band antenna on his truck, and I said, "You running a radio in that thing?" He's like, "Yeah, I used to run Escort, for wide, oversized loads and stuff." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he said, "I didn't know people on the radio anymore." He says, "I hardly turn it on." And then he had mentioned the fact, I said, because I work on radios. And then he said, "Man, there was this guy at Tiger Truck Stop over there on I-10. That guy was the best. He could pump up a radio." And I said, "Well, that was me."
Yeah, you ever see?
He said, "I thought I seen you somewhere before. You did a lot of work on my radios, I think."
You ever see?
I was the only one there.
Did you ever see where people put fluorescent bulbs on their antennas, and when you key the mic, it lights them up?
Oh yeah. My truck, my '68 Ford, I had a 102-inch whip on it, and then I switched to twin Francis, the 5.5 footers Francis, and those right there, I could light up a fluorescent light bulb.
Yeah, that was cool for a while, but then people could pick you out, so it was
they could pick you out and find out exactly where you was at. And that was
if you had a miniature one attached to your antenna, yeah, they could.
Hey, I was the type that would just aggravate what was going on, and I'd sit back and just listen, keep me going about 20, keep me going another 200 miles.
Yeah, I never really talk on the radio. I do more listening.
Yeah.
What I do, I'm the guy listening. I know holler at me on the radio and stuff, and I won't say 2 words. I'll just keep right on doing what I'm doing and mind my own.
You know what's going on ahead of you when you listen.
Oh yeah.
Well, when I worked at the truck garage, we were just a couple blocks from the 76 truck stop there on 77, and we had a big ass base station. We'd listen to everything, and people start acting a fool in that. We just put on easy listening music and key the mic, and
that's it.
Let it go for about an hour or somebody. And
would that be Prom Way truck wash?
Did you have a D104?
Yeah, it was the desktop microphone.
Yeah, Lollipop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was only one guy in the area that could overpower us. And every once in a while he'd just, get on there and, say, "Thanks, guys. It was getting kind of nasty." And he knew where we were, because he used to come through all the time. He was a mobile. And we'd let it go for like an hour or so and shut it off and see if everybody calmed down. If they didn't calm down, we just key it back up and let music play.
Well,
I think I told y'all the story.
Mark about what I'm talking about down I-75. Stop buying this and that.
I think I told y'all that story when that truck driver parked for the night at Tiger Truck Stop, and nobody could hear anybody talking for, hell, it was a good little ways too, a half a mile to a mile. And I found out which truck it was that was keyed down. His mic had messed up. That driver, he had one of them cheap echo mics, and the mic keyed up by itself. They had a short in the wires, and the mic keyed up by itself. Nobody could talk, nothing. The truck stopped. The fuel desk couldn't hear nobody on the highway. No, they could hear me from my radio shop, but I had more power than that guy in the truck had, you know.
But you know,
I found him. I unscrewed my antenna in my truck from my radio, my CB in my truck. I unplugged my antenna, and when I passed real close to the front end of the truck, and when that needle pegged out, that was the truck right there.
you know, I don't mind people going on the radio like that, but the ones that I can't stand are the ones that gets on there starting the church ceremony on Channel 19 for over an hour.
Oh,
That burns me up.
I don't mind a little gospel talk for a few minutes on the radio.
So, Sunday,
Not a whole hour sermon.
Yeah, but you go for hundreds of miles just that's all you can hear.
Yeah.
there was a few times on
I think
Sunday
it's
nights
time to
we'd
go to
hold
bed
church
now.
services.
Oh yeah. But these guys, I mean, they'll be rolling down the road, and I swear to you, they got the Bible in hand and they're reading scripture after scripture. You know, and it's like, okay, I can't hear what's going on, and they're running some serious power, and they're really getting out there.
Yeah.
I gotta go lean up the dock. I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, yeah. That and then they had every one of them daggone toys in the microphone. Whenever they clicked up, the damn thing went beep beep, or when they let off of it, it'd fart. It sounded like a daggone circus clown going off. I mean,
Yep.
those people would aggravate the devil out of me whenever I just
Well,
turned it off for a few minutes because they got out of my way. Out of my 64-mile-an-hour truck, it wasn't too long like they'd be gone anyway. So.
yeah. Well, then you didn't want to hear my radio because I got all that on it, including the donkey yeehaw.
Oh God. Yeah, that's.
Hi, Renegade.
Hey, Renegade.
Hey, how you doing, Renegade?
Yeah, I went to. I was most time I keep it cut down because, like I said, I was in a 64-mile-an-hour company truck, so I didn't really give a rat's butt on how strong of a signal I was putting out or anything else. But I mean, I would sit there and I'd catch into somebody's conversation and I'd say something to agitate the situation, and then I could sit back and just listen to it for about 300 miles, 300 miles, and that would get me on down the road. But
yeah, that's one thing I like. I like to get out there, and I set my cruise about 72, 76 mile an hour, and I let it ride right there. And that generally you can stay out of everybody's way until you get the 65-mile-an-hour trucks that step right out in front of you, even though they see you coming up the lane. You know, and that's crazy, but you know, that's what their company's got them set at. And there's so many people just, well, you ought to hear them on the radio wanting to fight and this and that, pull over, blah, blah, blah. It's like it's only taking a minute, but then he set days out there for 5-6 miles holding you up. You know, some of them are just that way. I mean, it's the nature of the business anymore.
yeah, and then they're talking about the federal government's talking about making everybody set it down until 65 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And that's going to be some heck of a deal because I mean these damn 4-lane interstates, all these damn trucks fall out there to pass, and speed limit 70 mile an hour. The people in the cars, that's going to make people go friggin' nuts.
Yeah, but the bad part of it is you get over in Texas on that toll road, it's 80 mile an hour speed.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
And I don't care how good you got them trucks. The trucks might be set up at 64 mile an hour, but they don't take into consideration that daggum hill that fully loaded truck's going to take compared to this other truck that's 10,000, 15,000 pounds lighter than he is. But it's still going to cause a daggum drag race because time you get right alongside him, the hill was going to start down, and here they go drag racing down the hill, and there's a but and then the guy in the right lane don't have enough daggum sense to drop to go ahead. I let off the fuel just a little bit, and that way that truck can go ahead and pass you and get.
Right.
I mean, that's the way I always did it. I mean,
Right.
I wouldn't sit out if I said I had to sit out there in that daggum lane over 5 minutes. I'd drop back and pull in the in behind that daggum truck I was trying to pass.
Yeah, that's like Bo coming up Fancy Gap with 50,000 on the deck
Yeah,
at 72 mile an hour and never touch a gear.
Right. Well, he's got enough power to get up, get up the hill.
6 1/4.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 1/4.
Well, that's what I used to like about our old auto car we used to have. You could
Oh,
set that
auto
thing.
car. Wow. I ain't heard that name in a long time.
You could set it at 70 mile an hour and have 100,000, and you pull any hill you want.
Mhm.
Couple of our drivers that drove it. There's a big hill out towards Worcester. They would mess around. They'd get a head of steam going, start passing some of these guys, hit the Jake brake on them, and then keep on passing them.
Damn.
It was mean.
And auto cars are built for that. That's meant for towing. I mean, hauling heavy loads. You got a 6 1/4 in them things.
Well, it had a 21
5
speed.
1/4, 6 1/4.
It had a 21 speed in it, and it was stretched. And we had a triaxle Benson trailer, gooseneck trailer. It was so long it wouldn't fit in our bay connected. We'd have to disconnect it and lift the trailer up and back the truck back further underneath. It was about 4 foot too long to fit in the bay, and that was the truck the owner drove not on a regular basis, but that was his preferred truck. It was just a day cab, no bunk on it or anything, but he said, you put 80,000 on it. He said, you can't even tell it's loaded. He just down the road, 80 mile an hour, uphill, downhill, left, right, sideways, don't matter. Some of the guys didn't like it because it didn't have all the air ride suspension and blah, 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 and all this shit. He said, I don't give a shit. He said, load that son of a bitch up. We're out.
That was waiting in their I riding around in a damn cab over with no air. It's kind of easy these days riding around. I mean, the doggone trucks drive better than cars do as far as the newer model trucks do.
I was fixing to say, most of these trucks nowadays, it's just like driving a car.
Yeah.
You just set it up and let it eat. And
yeah.
You got an excellent ride and everything, because everything, the trailer's air ride, the truck's air ride, the cab, the seats. I mean, everything's all on air.
Well, and then they still wreck them. I mean.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are falling asleep because they're riding too good.
Yeah.
Even the steer axle has airbags on them now.
Well, like I said, when I was coming up, you always had good air conditioning in the wintertime and a lot of heat in the summertime. It was all cab overs or the car a lot of the car haulers we didn't have a sleeper on. Some of them he drove, some of them didn't have sleepers on. So
I used to drive a 1-stack Mack with no sleeper in the back.
Well, we used the owner where I worked at. He bought like 3 of them, the GMC cab overs, day cab, the old AEP trucks, twin screw, and he bought it for a yard truck. We were going to take one of the axles off of it just to move trailers and stuff around the yard. The one lady driver we had, she was helping us move trailers around one day, and she fell in love with that little truck.
Yeah, I remember you telling us that story a while back. So you couldn't get her out of it.
Nope. That ended up being one of our best road trucks ever. She was short. We actually hooked her to that triaxle Benson, and she was so light cab wise, she could get lot more tonnage on, and down the road she'd go. She loved that thing.
Hmm.
Well, like I
Hey,
said,
Patrick.
Hey,
okay.
Patrick, how you doing, mon ami?
Patrick.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
Renegade. I look for you today. I look for you Tuesday. You must be feeling bad or
Yeah, he
something.
is. Yeah, he is.
Okay, I thought something was wrong.
Yeah, I was on a little private stream with him and a couple other people yesterday, and yeah, he said he wasn't feeling good. That's why he didn't do one Tuesday, and why he didn't do one.
Okay, okay, I'll forgive you.
Hey, backwoods boys.
Hey, backwoods.
Mhm.
Oh, Mater, you've been in Big T's live streams a couple of times. You know, for the
Yeah,
auctions, coin auctions and stuff. Do
yeah,
you remember D. Reese?
yeah.
He passed away last night.
Wow.
Yeah, Big T
What
had a
happened?
live stream earlier announcing it. Yeah, and the thing about it is that hits close to home because that's a buddy of mine, and he used to live down the road over here.
Damn.
His
What
wife's from
happened?
between Lawtell and Opelousas.
Yep.
I don't know. Nothing was mentioned. All Big T knew was that for sure he did pass away. We don't know anything yet. Arrangements for the future, or if he's going to be buried down here or in Florida or what.
Damn.
You know, no reason. I mean, there was no reason given,
Oh,
but his wife did call Big T or emailed him and said, "Okay, this is going to be a short email, but D. Reese passed away, and I'll give you more info later on." Because she had a lot of people to notify.
Damn.
Yeah, dang. I've been knowing D. Reese since he got in the coin community.
yeah. Well, I done told old lady if I croak, don't mention it at all. Just let me go disappear my little my little cook box and just sit out there and just pour me wherever he wants to.
Bury me under my shop.
Yeah, just throw
Right.
me out there somewhere.
Dad, I want to get cremated, and if Johnny Best is still living, I want him to scatter my ashes around Redfish Point in Vermilion Bay and Lake Fieldman. That's where I used to make a lot of money at commercial fishing.
Uh,
I don't know where all that's even at.
Yeah, you know where it's at. You've been shrimping around Redfish Point already.
well,
Well,
I mean, that's why I got to get this doggone red truck running again. Because I told her she tried to put me in a hearse or anything like that I would come back to haunt her. And I told her, I said, as far as she decided to bury me instead of cook me, then to just put me, I said throw the casket in the back of the red truck and have somebody drive it to the daggum graveyard. Don't put me in no daggum hearse.
All right.
well, I never wanted to be cremated when I was younger, but now I don't really care.
I don't either.
Y'all do what you want to do with my body. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not here.
when you're younger, you're like, well, I don't want to be burnt by fire, but you're not realizing that you're not going to feel it anyway.
Right.
But anyhow, yeah, when like I didn't want to get cremated when I was younger, but now it makes sense and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
$500 compared to 6,000 for a burial. It's minimum down here like $4,000 for a casket, funeral home services, and then you got to have your plot ready, which are either your tomb on top of the ground or a vault under the ground. Oh, so no, just burn me, and that's all right. I played with fire before; it's not going to hurt that much after I'm gone.
My funeral stuff's all paid for, so I ain't worried about that. It just, you know, if you are gonna cremate me, please do a Viking funeral for me.
There you go. Sail you out on the boat and put gas, fuel in it, and then shoot a burning arrow at it.
Yep.
There you go.
Well, it's kind of funny. The fact is that Crystal and I were talking about that last night, and for me, I told her to save costs and everything. Donate body to science. They pay for everything, and then do whatever they want, and then cremate the remains, send it back.
Yeah, science don't want this body.
Yeah, mine neither.
But if the science they do it like they do it in Tennessee, you don't want to do that. They take you out and throw you out in the field and let you lay there to see how long it takes you to
That school they got.
Yeah, down there.
Yeah, I've seen videos on that school where they take the bodies and everything, and let them sit out there and decompose and let the bugs and everything.
Really?
Forensics.
Yep.
It's a forensic farm.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And they've got bodies been sitting out there for several months to several years to see how the body decomposes.
Yeah.
Different conditions and stuff like that. Yeah.
See what bugs are coming and crawling up your what.
Yeah, it's in Knoxville down there. Got in Tennessee.
So they got one of them in Tennessee?
Yeah, this is Tennessee.
Dang.
Yep. Yeah. They've had that on several different shows and everything, talking about it.
Wasn't there a place, either Tennessee or down in Louisiana, a crematory that had all kinds of bodies sitting, and they got in deep trouble because there was quite a few bodies.
That was right outside of Atlanta.
Was
Georgia?
Right north of Atlanta, Georgia. They got them they put them in jail for years.
Yeah.
What they were doing? Or not doing?
Not cremating. They was just taking everybody in there and just setting them outside and leaving them. It wasn't running the crematory.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
They were eating them.
No, they weren't cremating them.
They weren't cremating them, so they just throw them out there inside the funeral home and kept stacking them up. They finally ended up having they had 200 people or something that were sitting there.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
There was another funeral home that was doing mass cremations. They'd put 3 or 4 bodies in the crema thing at one time, burn them all at the same time, and then just divvy up the ashes between the
family.
between the different things. People weren't getting their loved ones and everything else, and they were doing it because it was cheaper to do 3 bodies at once than it was to do one.
That's called a family package deal.
Don't know whose family, but it was a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
We're getting somebody else's family.
Yeah, Renegade's
And
Garage.
someone else. And
It says they had one down there by them that did that too.
Dang.
A lot of people went to jail over that mess down there. I mean, they had quite a few bodies.
Yeah.
Well, there was just something on the news about this one graveyard that was reselling plots. They
Whoa.
they go to ones that were 50 or 60 years old, dig the casket and stuff up, bury it deeper, and then resell that spot. And they said there was possibly 4 to 5 bodies in one grave at some of them. They didn't keep record. The old records were destroyed, so that nobody could trace it.
Right.
But there was people that were like, that's the old part of the cemetery. Why are they burying somebody there? And that's what got him in trouble. But it wasn't the owner that was doing it. He had a manager, and then two of their cousins or something would come in and run the equipment at night or in the evening or off days or whatever. And they were that's what they were doing. They dig down till they found the vault, pull the vault out, dig down deeper, set that, and then put dirt on top of it, and then bury somebody on top of them.
Well, There was a place down here at the bottom of the mountain down here. What is it? No, at the bottom of the no, at the down in Mount Airy. They were there was a dude down there that was selling used caskets on damn on Facebook Marketplace.
Used caskets.
But he
Wow.
said, but he swore them down. There'd never been any bodies in that casket. But they were all nasty on the inside and everything else.
Oh man. Well,
I
it's
got
like
yeah,
maybe they were destined for the cremation, but they laid them out in the funeral parlor at a funeral home for a day and a night, and then after that, when they get cremated, they cleaned up the casket real good and put somebody else in it or sell it.
Yeah, they put them in a casket just for the viewing.
Right, correct. You know, that way people can remember them, and then they'll get, fired later or cremated.
Yeah, because you actually get cremated in a cardboard box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that Chris and I, we need to go down towards Houston because back in the late 60s at a cemetery down there, my parents bought 6 burial plots, and come to find out right now, one of them's been used, the other 5 have never been used, but they are the last 5 remaining curbside plots in the entire cemetery. And those things are going for, I think last time I checked, they were going for about $3,700 a plot. My parents paid, I think, not even $1,000 for all 6 of them.
Mm.
So I got 5 of them down there. I got property down in Pearland that I ain't using. Need to go down and sell.
Saraland?
Pearland.
Hey, Tommy.
Repeat that?
Pearland.
Carolina,
Okay.
Texas.
Spelled Pearland.
Okay.
Right outside of one of the suburbs of Houston.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is in the original part of the cemetery because they'd only been open for about 3 years.
Hey, we got a cemetery in our backyard. The best damn neighbors you ever had.
They don't say too much, do they?
No, they don't bother us at all. Every now and then, Delisa's daddy used to have one of them old dial radios in his little building down there where he worked on his lawnmowers, and it had an old turn dial radio, and he would pick up that radio would get turned over to the old bluegrass station down in Mount Airy. That
Mhm.
radio would set up him play. One day, he'd go out there one day and it'd be off the country music station. And he said they've been by here. I said they're having a Saturday night hoedown out there, Bobby. They just leave them alone. I
Yep.
mean, I think they got people that died before the Civil War in it, and people all the way up to about the 90s. I mean, one of them was in a wooden casket out there. He had to keep going filling it up because the doggone
Wood would
snake,
rot.
well, the woods wood rotted, and then it would come up with copperhead nests and all in that one. So
Ooh.
Damn.
so her daddy had to go out there and fill up the damn hole, keep filling the hole in.
Well, the one good thing about having a cemetery as a neighbor, they ain't gonna be loud,
That's a fact.
and they ain't gonna be coming over to bug you for a cup of sugar.
I live next to a cemetery for like a year and a half. Not a problem.
Well, that's where we're this trailer sitting right now. There used to be an old wooden house on it, and Delisa knocked it down. The man that lived in it, he's buried back there in that cemetery. But he's the last one that was buried in that cemetery. But he comes through here every once in a while. You can tell he's here because He's smoking a damn cigar, and you can smell the doggone cigar all of a sudden. A puff of smoke from the cigar comes through you. I mean, yeah, I mean, first time I ever was up here and it happened, it kind of freaked me out for a few minutes because
Me and my dad, well, he used to go to the graveyard all the time, a family graveyard. It was in Banker Cemetery, right on the Vermilion River. And he'd tell me, he says, now these two plots, he was forming up, with wood for the concrete. So we had a slab that was for my grandma, the family. Dad had formed all that up and then called in a concrete truck. Before the concrete truck came in, we were mixing that concrete by hand in a wheelbarrow. That got old. Dad said, well, it's time to call in a truck. So anyway, you got all that built and then tombs, above ground that were adhesed, epoxied or whatever to the concrete. And the lids were on and sealed. They were all empty, but as soon like my grandma died, they'd unseal it, before the casket funeral procession got there. Then they load the casket in it and then put the lid on and, seal it. And then the marker, granite marker would be engraved and all that and then put on there at a later time. Well, Daddy had showed me 2 or 3 spots. He said, these spots are for us. I bought these years ago and it's registered in the church because it's a church, St. Mary Magdalene's property. Said, I bought all these years ago. And he says, all you got to do is go to the church, and look it up. By now, since nobody's been making sure, because once you buy the plot, you don't have to pay taxes or nothing. I'm pretty sure if I would go to the church and claim those plots, somebody else might already be buried in there.
yeah.
As
I
unclaimed.
mean, but that was down there where you're at, Jason, but that was an eerie feeling when you down there when it's flooding, and all of a damn sudden here comes a daggone casket floating over there down the side of the road there somewhere. I mean, I have seen that down in Louisiana. I mean,
Yeah, with all the hurricanes that we had down here,
yeah.
and like down there, that cemetery is right there, almost to Vermilion Bay, and there's many hurricanes that's been through that area, direct hits, but there's never been a casket that all that, the newer stuff from say 1940s or the 50s, all that was above ground. But before the 40s or the 30s, whatever, because I think my grandpa died in 1938, I think, and it was above ground. So, but before in the 20s or before, 1920s or before, a lot of the caskets were just buried in the ground, a wooden casket. And there's old markers there from the, mid 1800s.
Yeah.
But after all the hurricanes and storms that passed through there, and then the river, that was all covered by 10 foot of water. There's never been a report of any caskets coming out of the mausoleum or a sealed tombstone on top of the ground.
Well, but down there where you're at, the water table is what controls it underneath the ground on whether they float up or not. I mean,
yeah, that's why Dad built
that's why they had to build them on top of the ground.
All the long slabs, that, and then all the tombs were set on the top of the concrete slab.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, that water table, if you dig down in the ground next to the river like that, at 20 feet, you getting not good drinking water, drinkable water.
Yeah, I'd never seen anything like that, but one day we were putting in diesel fuel tanks at the school bus stops. We was going around the state of South Carolina putting them down. It's one of them jobs there for high school, and so I was with the engineers. Was the guy that I was just driving him around, and I was pressurizing that tank to make sure it didn't have leaks in it. So we put them down all over the state of South Carolina, and we got to one spot, and the next morning they called us and said Joe got to come back out here. We'd always put at least a third of the tank of fuel in that tank, and then let them fill it up after they got it all wire, all piped in and all that stuff.
Right.
Well, they turned around and they called us the next day after we just sunk this one, and they said y'all gonna have to come back out here because the tank's floating. And sure enough, we got out there, and the whole day it had rained out hard all night, and that daggone big old 50,000 gallon diesel fuel tank was floating around. Was floating in the hole, it was bobbing up and down.
Damn.
Yeah, we had to wait till the water dried out of it before we could get back in there to fix the concrete it in so it wouldn't float back up.
I don't have that problem in my area. Here, once it goes in the ground, it stays.
Well, that's kind of the way it was when I was in my part of South Carolina that I lived in. It was called the Sand Hills. So as far as you could dig down, it was all freaking sand all the way down. I mean, it wouldn't even grow good youngins, much less anything else. So. But I mean, that was just the way things worked out, but I had never seen something like a tank or something other else just float up out the ground like that. I mean, sitting up here on top of the mountain, there's a rock layer down, pretty much where Lisa's house is, because they had to cut the banks down in the front of the house and all that. And so it's a lot of rocks and stuff here, so we don't really have to worry about it here because the water is going to run off, or it runs off of it so fast it don't have to. If it floods up here, we're gonna have to call, like I said about South Carolina. If it floods here, we're gonna have to call Noah's Ark in. So I mean, they want. Lisa asked them, "Did we need to get flood insurance? Because flood insurance on this place." They said, "No, you're in Zone X. If it floods that deep, you got to worry about it." There's a big ammunition depot, probably 15 miles from here, and the whole area is basically sitting on top of ammunition depot. So if all that got wet at one time, we wouldn't have to worry about it anyway. So they probably still got nitro in the bottles buried out there. I mean, or dynamite or nitro in the bottles.
I think that'd be something to put on a pulling tractor just to see what it would do. That'd be wicked.
Some nitro. But they keep that. I mean, I mean, they put the they put the federal graveyard right on top of all that stuff over there, so they just trying to disguise where they got all the junk buried at. It's a national cemetery, so right on top of it. So they'll leave out. So if war would break out, they'd go through a blaze of glory twice, I reckon, the way it would work. But, yeah, that was that. This area here, but is rich in that doggone is Civil War history and all that stuff. So, I mean, the tunnels and everything else around here. I mean, these are natural tunnels. These ain't a cave. They're natural caves. They ain't real tunnels. But I mean, there are all kinds of stuff around here. But that's why we keep picking on Mark about putting him in a well.
That mess I went through today, I wouldn't mind have been in the well. That was crazy.
Hey, what did they have you doing, Mark? Did they make you do jumping jacks and all that stuff? Or
Yeah, I had to do jumping jacks, touch my toes, go up and down steps 10 times. A regular old agility test.
man, you tell them you didn't have you drove a dump bucket, not how you got to jump up and down and all that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not driving a flatbed where you got to chain binders and straps and all that crap.
No, I do that once in a while too.
Oh, okay.
I do.
Now, there's a buddy of mine. His name's Stacy. He had a couple two YouTube channels now. It was a Twisted R Racing. You remember him in Texas?
yeah,
Built small engine go-karts and all that stuff.
yeah.
Twisted R, his name was Stacy. He's the one started him and Small Engine Nation.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a little community, like, and it wasn't like an official thing or whatever, Small Engine Nation. Now, I was in Small Engine Nation, back when he started it, you know, right after. But he fell off his truck, his flatbed, and did some serious damage to his body like you did.
Yeah.
And in fact, well, not as bad as yours, though. Yours is worse. And
I
that's about the time he retired, not long after that.
Yeah.
From driving.
Technically, he didn't fall off. He had a hold of his tarp, and the wind caught it, and it actually flipped him about 25 feet up in the air.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew he came off the trailer. Okay. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
I just put something in the private chat, so just keep it to yourselves, please.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
Usually I don't look at that when somebody says they got something in private chat, so I don't.
I know. I'm just saying, just keep it to yourself, please.
Okay.
yeah. Well, I think that's where I mainly met most of y'all in the Small Engine Nation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Somehow I got into that Small Engine Nation. I don't know who got me there.
I forgot y'all were small engine guys, you and Ed.
yeah, and I think that if I'm not mistaken, that's probably where I've met occasionally too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember because it's been a while. I know I've been knowing you, Darryl, longer than Ed and Mark. I think. Yeah, I've been knowing you longer than Ed and Mark.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we actually met, and then I started going to some of that coin stuff. because I following you around.
Yeah, because Twisted R was a coin collector too.
Yeah, and
But
I
I was with him and all on my before I started my coin channel on my Voodoo Cat channel.
I think that's kind of how we all met up was kind of through them or somebody associated with it.
Yeah.
Because
now, I was a part, like I said, I was a part of that group,
yeah,
quote unquote club. But the only thing I didn't do was make a little short video. Hi, I'm Boo Lucat, or I'm Hollis or whatever. Hi, I'm Boo Lucat, and I am Small Engine Nation. Y'all remember the little video that he had put together with all the little clips with Nate and all them, and and umpteen others. What was it, like a 10-minute video with all them little 5-second clips? There's a lot of people that were involved in that.
I think Ed got me into the Small Engine Nation before I ever had a channel.
Yeah, I was a founding member of the Small Engine Nation.
Okay.
Me, Stacy, Craig, his wife,
Craig Durbin,
Craig
and Kathy,
Nate.
That was the sad. I didn't even know she. But Craig's wife, she had died back in September, and I couldn't. Kathy.
I didn't even know. I'm surprised Craig didn't call me.
I mean, I won a couple of their little drawings or whatever they had. I got the ink pen that says Small Engine Nation on the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I've got
a bar of soap from Kathy.
I've got the decals. I've got all that. I helped arrange a couple. I think we did three like fundraiser giveaways. We gave away a welder to a guy. We helped Brandon out. Who else? There was a couple other two that we did, and then there was a couple we did behind the scenes too that we didn't do any video or anything on.
Right. One day it was me and Bruce Pender. I don't know if y'all familiar with Bruce up in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce's shop.
Yep.
Anyway, it was a bunch of us old schoolers, the tips and trick guys, making a few little videos. And here, this one guy, he went live, and we were all invited, and it was Small Engine Nation. That was the name of his channel, Small Engine Nation. And I forget his real name. It's Troy, maybe, or something. Ted, Troy. Anyway, I'm like, are you affiliated? He had a panel. I said, are you affiliated? I mean, is this? Well, I said, where's Craig Durbin at? He said, who's Craig Durbin? So I'm like, oh, okay. I said, your channel name is the same as our community called Small Engine Nation. I said, it's not trademarked or anything. He was like, oh, man, I need to change my channel name. He was apologizing and all this. I said, no, man, there ain't no need for that. I said, you didn't know? And I said, that name is not trademarked or nothing. But there was a lot of people there that agreed with me. They thought Craig was going to be up there, Durbin. So anyway, Craig Durbin, man, that's a good-hearted fella. My brakes went out on the Jeep one time, and the Jeep was parked. I didn't have the money. He sent me the money, and Johnny for the parts, and Johnny, and it was back brakes, drum brakes, not caliper, drum. Yeah. That was the first year of the Jeep Liberty. Drum brakes on the back. I think the next year was disc brakes, all the way around.
Well, anytime they got anything with Small Engine Nation on it, they'd always send something here. I mean, Craig and Kathy would always send something here. So I got all kinds of Small Engine Nation stuff out here in the shop. But
let me see if I can find something.
Yeah, Stacy was actually trucking through the area the one time, and I met up with him. And we went and had dinner and hung out for a while and bullshitted and everything.
Yeah, he was coming through here, but we didn't at the time. We didn't know, but he said he was. I think he stopped up there in Whitville, where I met y'all,
Yeah.
and we couldn't. I couldn't make it up there to where he was at, but he said he had to go anyways.
Yeah, Dougie was a founding member too of the
Yeah,
Small Engine Nation.
yeah. That's what I said. That's where I met most of y'all was through when that stuff was going on, when they had that going on. Pretty big. I mean, and I mean, and I appreciate all of his help. This that has helped me to get back into this stuff. But maybe one day I'll actually put out a video. But Mark's got to go out and do a walkthrough of that fancy truck.
Hey, William.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm ready to retire. Starting to be like work now.
It's all him.
But I don't look at it as work. I enjoy traveling, getting out, seeing people.
Well, for me, I'm thinking about clearing off my work table over here, and I just got that last Coleman lantern in. I'm thinking about getting the camera set up and just doing a video and a teardown on it and figuring out what's wrong with it.
Okay, the fun's over. I got to go back to work now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Yeah, the boss. Hey, yeah, the boss is there, ready to crack that whip at you.
The boss has to eat and go to bed and go to work in the morning.
uh-oh.
I'm talking about you, Andy. I'm talking about you cracking the whip at him.
Not quite. He never gets the whip cracked.
She'll be on the workbench. Go sit down.
I'm going to get something.
Sounds too kinky to me on that one, Mark.
Huh?
That sounds too kinky to me.
Oh, no.
Well, I had made it to my 2 hours. So, everybody, I appreciate y'all coming in and sitting around with us tonight and listening to our crazy stuff going on. And I think I'm going to close it down and see y'all next week.
See y'all.
See y'all.
Night.
Peace, love, and crackling grease.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing. There he is.
Yep.
All right, I'm sorry. I was looking for that bar of soap from Kathy Durbin.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Hey, it's good being north of the grass. Be safe. Stay that way. And as always, like Ed said, love, peace, and crackling grease. Catch y'all later. Blue time.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.